Hey guys, what is up? Swordy Sarah here with another MapleStory R Evolution video. So it's been a while, but finally my Magician alt character has finally reached 108. So this is around the level that I start to do like the little class review. So let's take a look at the Magician class, right? So take a look at the basic skills first. We have Fire, Poison, Orb. Okay, let's start with the normal attack. Right? The normal attack is fires a fireball forward, dealing 73% one stage attack damage to the passing enemy. Right? So interesting is one stage. I think most of the basic attacks are one stage, so that's pretty normal. Then here we have skill cooldown of 7 seconds, fires a flame bomb, dealing 2 damage to enemies in front of you for a total of 200%. Right, increase number of flame bombs, and this is our auto skill 2. Then we have a little summon Fire Lord. Skill cooldown of 10 seconds, summons an Inferno minion that can attract enemy attacks. So that's interesting, attracting enemy attacks. And it deals damage. Same as most of the auto skill 4s is that there's no hit required to actually gain 1 point of rage. Right. So next we have Poison Fog. Skill cooldown of 4 seconds. Summons a Poison Fog that lasts 3 seconds and deals total of 192% damage. Enemies who enter the fog are poisoned. And so per layer, 10% damage per layer. So it's not increased 10% damage, it's like 10% off the damage. There's a little bit of a damage over time kind of shenanigans. Should be similar to the Thief, because Thief also has poison as well. Right? Okay, then we have Phoenix Fury. So it uses skill cooldown 4 seconds, auto skill 1. Use the power of fire to inflict 2 attacks, dealing a total of 167% attack damage to enemies in front of you. And finally, Fire Poison Orb. So this is a passive. When an auto skill hits an enemy, obtain 1 rage, and releasing rage skills will consume this amount of rage. So I think this is pretty standard for everything. But yeah, so it's like your skills have to hit an enemy to obtain 1 rage, except for Summon Fire Lord, right? Here. Let's just take a look at the bursts, right? So this is the first one. This is like a little flame pillars on the ground, and it just does like damage over time, right? Releasing consist 4 rage, release blazing fire forward, continuously dealing 315% attack, right? Attack damage. So this is continuously, so it's like a damage over time kind of thing. Pretty good DPS, I would assume, right? And this is Mist Burst, right? I think you can see the preview for Mist Burst. Yeah, so Mist Burst is like this explosion, poison explosion. The toxin causes Mist Burst, dealing 355% attack damage to the enemy. Also, the poison caused by the poison fog will deal 10% damage. So it's a lot of dots. Mage seems to have a lot of damage over times. Right? And then there's an enhancement here which causes the enemy to burn for 2 seconds and increases damage. Right? Number of flame bombs. See, number of flame bombs doesn't mean there's an extra line of damage, right? So it seems that Mage actually has very little lines of damage. We'll get to that later. Right, so this is the current rage that I have. Typical 7 rage. This is called Fire Mage Advancement. Right, Meteorite falls, dealing 952% attack damage to enemies within the full screen range. Right. Then Poison Fog, just an increase of damage. You can see that Poison Fog, the poison here, it's damage over time. And this is full screen, right? See, it's quite a lot of lines of numbers, right? It doesn't actually state the lines, but then we have Summon Firelord Enhancement. The Zakum number, but I would presume that it means the summon number. And then increases the damage. So you can see in this little preview here, you can see the 2 little Firelords smashing little blue mushrooms, right? Next we have the Joy Advancement that we're not there yet. This one's pretty cool, looks pretty interesting. So it summons Demon Eye, track the enemy. It kind of gives you the consistent kind of damage going on for like maybe mob stages. Sometimes your rage does it when they're dead already, so it's pretty good. Dealing 1348, and also the poison does damage over time each layer. Right. Then this is increased damage by 1 stage. Stage should be the lines, but it seems like it's still showing 1 line of damage, so I'm not sure about that. Use 1 stage damage for each flame bomb, so this increases the amount of lines. You have to wait until 110 for this. And finally, the final job advancement, Archmage. This seems very interesting. Fury of the Flame God. You see the preview here. He gets the Fire Lord and it like explodes. Right? So the Zakum incarnates the Flame God, causing fires to rage, burn surrounding enemies. Seems quite intense damage, right? The burn seems to go quite long. Just 2 seconds. And then we get an expanded attack range and increased damage. Don't know why the character turns blue there, but then this Zakum exists, so this Fire Lord for 2 more seconds and increases damage. So it seems as though Mage doesn't have a lot of lines, right? So we'll just pull the Mage into an actual like fight here. Let's just take it to a boss fight, right? A boss battle. So you can see that Mage doesn't really have a lot of lines. And in my opinion, I think like if it doesn't have a lot of lines, it means that because there's a chance you miss, right? And if you have a multi-hit skill, the misses, like if you miss 1 hit, it doesn't mean that all 7 hits miss. Right? It's individual. So if you don't have a lot of additional stages, a lot of lines of damage, then it seems as though that if you miss, the damage is just 0 for that skill. It's just gone. Right? So it seems to be kind of a drawback for mages if you want to tackle high-level bosses. It seems to be a bit tough. So Mage seems to excel in kind of like a mob kind of stage and mob kind of damage, because a lot of the skills are like kind of AoE and damage over time, right? Damage over time can be helpful for bosses, right? But we don't know about the boss's poison resistance. Seems to be pretty consistent with the poison, you can see here. Right, so after this boss stage, we're gonna hit the little mob kind of dungeon. Oh, I think we might die here. Also, one thing to mention is that the Mage seems to be a bit squishy. Not entirely sure. I did not compare like the defensive stats with other characters. Maybe we can take a little look at this. So this is 44,000, right? Just do a quick comparison here. Someone that's around the level. So Mage, I think Warrior's close to that, right? So let's see here. 44,000 and Warrior's 54,000. Yeah, it's not the most reliable comparison, but yeah, there's that. I do feel that Mages is a bit squishy, but as you can see, comparison between Thieves and right, because Thieves keep bouncing all around the place, then Mage is quite like stagnant, right? So let's head over to a mob stage here. You can see that there's a burn, there's the poison being done, Fire Lords being summoned, and here comes, yep, the Meteors. The Meteors seems to do a lot of lines of damage, which is very good. As you can see, the normal skills, the lines are quite little, right? And it seems as though the damage over time can also miss. Right? So, yeah, I will see a bit of misses popping out, so I think the damage over time can miss. So it seems like you can see that the Mage have a bit of difficulty taking on levels, monster stages that have like higher levels. Right? Because when you get a higher level, you need some hit rate, right? So far, I'm not sure how to get hit rate besides the fact that you can get it from like those enhancements, from the Land of Chaos. When you pass a certain stage, they say, oh, okay, you want to take this buff for hit plus 20%, or even in the Guild Adventure Team kind of endless hunting buffs for hit. Right? So this is how kind of Mage performs here. Right? Just take down this elite. But yeah, it seems like, okay, so Mage is kind of ranged, right? But the character doesn't seem to, like the AI, it doesn't seem to like distance itself from the mobs. So taking a look at the Mage skills again, just to summarize that Mage seems to be the Magician class, right? The Mage seems to be a class that is more AoE oriented, right? Trying to burst down huge packs of mobs, and then has a drawback of not a lot of lines of damage, which makes them susceptible to higher level dungeons or bosses, making them miss easily, throwing away all the damage that they have, right? So you have multiple hits, it just misses one part of the hit, and then you still have, right, 7 hits, miss one part, you still have 6 hits worth of damage. So that's a bit of a drawback for the mages, right? And we'll take a look at the remaining classes, the Pirate, the Cannoneer, and the Bowmaster in a bit, right? So this is for the Mage. I think if you enjoy bursting huge amounts of area, right, you can give a shot to the mage. And see the skills. I mean, the skills are pretty cool, right? But yeah, there's a bit of a drawback, seems to be. And yeah, that's that. If you'd like to see any other guides being made for MapleStory R Evolution, please leave comments down below. Any other feedback, any suggestions you wanna have, you can also leave a comment. Right, that's all for this video. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.